Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And it's been a long time, but F1 24 is finally here, and that means we are here for our annual last two question mark challenge. I've been making it a little bit of a thing over the last few years, so I thought why not come back and do it. And we're here today for a race at 25% distance around Silverstone in the Mercedes, realistic performance, 110% AI, and all the normal rules and regulations set up for this track and for this race. And we are going to see how easy or difficult it is to go from last to potentially first. But let's see if we can get into the points like we have on our previous occasions. So without further ado, we're going to get into the one-shot qualifying to get ourselves to the back of the grid, which we have. And we are going to be ready for the 5 red lights here at Silverstone, and it's lights out and away we go. And you can see already straight away off the line that there's already some changes with this track. There's a little bit more bumpy into the first corner, as you may have noticed if you've driven the beta or the preview build yourself. The track in certain places a little bit more bumpy, replicating a little bit more of how it is in real life, but we've steamed up the inside of several cars through the first 3 turns here, and we're already up into P12, dumping the battery with the overtake button, already down to 60% here as we break into Brooklands, try and send it around the outside of Luffield Hill, trying to get a good exit. And you'll notice with this game, the ERS modes are so different to what they've been in the past. We have none, medium, hot lap modes with an overtake button, and the overtake button drains it like crazy. We're draining now to get past Gasly. We've burnt about 15% there, I believe, in one overtake, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you'll be able to see now as we close onto the back of Piastri, as we are on the overtake button, look how quickly we are draining that battery just for this overtake, and we're going to be burning all the way down to about 30% here, which is absolutely crazy, you would think, for the first lap. Piastri tries to hold it around the outside, but we just about get our nose in front heading into the chicane, and by the end of the first lap we are up into the top end, so it's an absolute dream start. Max Verstappen leading the way, so it looks like the game is realistic in that sense, at least. But we're down to 23% battery in the first, like by the start of lap 2, which is absolutely mental. But we're going to try and get a good exit off here to see if we can deploy that last little bit of battery, but we get a bit of a slide, so we're going to have to settle in behind Lance Stroll. And you can see by the end of that lap we were up to 80% battery already. We'd saved almost 70% in just managing our battery. That's how quickly you can recharge the batteries of this game. But we're burning it back again now. So try and get down the inside of Lance Stroll, which we do. Try and hold it around the outside of turn 4, but we have a little bit of a collision here. Stroll understeered a little bit into the side of us, and that's something I've noticed a lot with this AI this year. They are so aggressive. They will not let you have anything for free. So we're going to poke our nose up the inside of Lance Stroll here, and he holds it very well around the outside. We cannot dispatch of the young Canadian here, and we have to settle in for now. We're still stuck in P10, and I think if he showed a nose like that to the AI in the past, they would have probably backed out. But as you can see, Lando Norris has got an engine failure, a huge plume of smoke. We had a lot of trust in him, but he didn't come to the left. We picked up a track limits warning, having to go wide for him, and we have lost the DRS to the cars in front now. But this will give us the opportunity with the DRS, with no DRS for Stroll, to try and make an easy move here. We move to the left-hand side, make a little bit of contact. And yeah, as I said, guys, the AI will not leave you an inch if you go for it in this game. They will not get out of your way. So you have to think of them a little bit more like a real player, which is really interesting, actually. I really enjoyed this race. Now I'm in post-com, with how I had to race the AI a little bit more. But as you can see, we're burning all of the battery here, down to about 10%, to try and get ourselves back into the DRS detection of Valtteri Bottas just in front. And did we sneak in by that detection point before turn 3? We'll be able to see here. Yes, we did. So we can breathe a sigh of relief for the time being. Skipping on to the end of lap 5. We are already up to 100% battery, and I think we're already on that for quite a while as we start lap 6. And what I did notice with the AI, they're quite weak through the first couple of corners, even though it's flat out, which is quite interesting. You can carry a lot more speed as the player, not really sure why. But we are now right on the back of the train for the top 7, all in DRS here. There seems to be a break just behind Piastri in P10, but we're going to try and go around the outside of Valtteri Bottas here again. Leaves us, well, he leaves us the room, but he definitely leaned on us a little bit there, which I just was not expecting. This is the first race I've done against AI, and I was really shocked. So yeah, you probably see some facial expressions from me in the face cam whilst I was driving. I was really surprised, and surprised in a good way, to see the AI battling. It's almost like the online AI aggression from previous games, but offline. But I don't know if it's aggression or lack of spatial awareness yet, so I guess that remains to be seen. But we're burning the battery here, as you can see, with the overtake button engaged. Bottas is not going to fight this one as hard, and we are up into P7, heading towards the end of lap 6, and you can see the first round of pit stops are coming for the soft tyres. We started on the mediums, and we are, I think, the only car in the field to start on the mediums. So we're going for a bit of an alternative strategy. We're up into P4.
We'll be penalised if we exceed it. Keep that in mind as
We've got the DRS now of the top 3, who I imagine are going to jump into the pits now on their soft tyres, which they do. We're going to continue on the medium tyres because we've got full battery and the more durable tyre on our car. So we're going to make the most of it, try and go for a bit of an overcut here and burn the battery through this lap, because the overtake button is so powerful. You can probably make some pretty extreme overcut strategies work, potentially, if others are stuck in traffic. But yeah, we're going to try and work our way through this lap and give ourselves a nice healthy advantage on a fresh set of soft compound tyres towards the end of this race. The only car that stayed out was Kevin Magnussen on the soft tyres, so he's going along as well for some reason. But as you'll be able to see, out of here, Luffield corner, keep it nice and tight, try and get early on the power. There's a bit less run-off on the outside of that corner now. We burned all of our battery, essentially, through the rest of that flat-out section in Sector 2. We're going to dive into the pits now. As you can see, the pit entry point has changed quite a lot. So we broke quite early there, but like we just couldn't see where the entry was. So yeah, that's moved down quite a lot as we dive into the pits here. All of this pit stop animation stuff seems to be the same as last year, which is fine because it was fine how it was, I believe. So we're going to make our way out of this long Silverstone pit lane. You even get a bit of undulation in the pit lane with the bumps and stuff, which is pretty cool. And as you'll be able to see, we're going to rejoin the track. The top 3, I believe, are going to charge through. So we're going to burn the overtake button to make sure we are in that DRS detection point, which we are on Max Verstappen. We get a pit lane exit line infringement, even though we didn't cross a line. So yeah, definitely not a finished product yet. There's definitely some little bits and tweaks to be worked on, but yeah, not to mention the handling. But I don't think I'm going to be going too much into that. I think everyone has covered that by and large across social media and all of the streaming and upload platforms such as YouTube and Twitch. So I'm going to leave that alone. So we are moving on now to lap 10, and we've got a lot of charge in the battery, chasing down Max Verstappen, and we're going to see if we can make quick work of him. But looking at the aggression of the AI, it doesn't look like it's going to be easy. And if these AI are programmed anything like their real life counterparts, it's going to be very difficult to get past Max Verstappen here. He moves to the middle of the track to defend, and he gives us a little bit of a squeeze heading into the braking point. We send it deep on the brakes, but Max equally sends it round the outside deep onto the brakes in Luffield, and he absolutely steams up the inside of us. And I was, yeah, again, completely caught off guard. And we are not going to go up the inside like Hamilton did to Verstappen in 2021. We go for a little bit of a dodgy move round the outside, but we keep it at least clean through the corner. A little bit of contact on the way in, but we are now just about pulling in front as we enter the Maggots and Beckett's complex here, and we are up into the podium positions behind Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc. We set the fastest lap of the race to start lap 11, and we've still got a whole heap of battery to play with, so this is looking good. And I think now we're going to stay on board for the rest of this race to see not necessarily me battling, but the AI battling. And it's not unusual for the AI to battle and go side by side, but I feel as if they just do it so much more aggressively now. As we can see with Charles Leclerc absolutely sending up the inside, Sergio goes half defensive. Charles pushes him a little bit out wide, and Sergio returns the favour through Luffield Corner, and they're still going to be side by side up towards Cobbs. I was loving this from behind. I was just letting them do their thing, charge the battery up. As you can see, we're up to nearly 100% battery, and they're still going side by side here. Sergio just about gets in front, and now we're just going to tuck in behind in P3 here. You can see Sergio's light, and now Charles Leclerc's light is flashing. That's not from being under 10%. You can now set your battery to none, and that will automatically start your light flashing, I believe. As you can see, Perez is flashing, as is Leclerc. So it's kind of hard to tell whether someone's under a certain amount of battery or just not deploying. I don't know if there should be a different light or something for that, or whether it just adds a little bit more, I don't know, strategy into it. But either way, I don't mind. We are now enjoying this race with 2 laps to go, and we're going to try and send it up the inside of Sergio Perez into turn 3. Can we get it done? Into turn 4, holding it around the outside, leaving plenty of room. And now we're going to try and nail it on the exit with the overtake button all the way around the outside of turn 5 with the DRS open. And that is move done on the Red Bull driver. And yeah, not a single overtake on the AI this race has been straightforward. And that is something I really, really enjoyed. Yeah, it was a really refreshing experience, actually. That combined with the new Silverstone updates, with a little bit of the bumps, a bit of the undulation through the track, slightly adjusted curbs as well. It was really, really cool. As you can see here, the curbs are completely different as they were on F122, a bit more flat, so you can run a little bit more of them, as I completely miss it. That exit curve is a little bit thinner, so you can't run as much over the curb, but as we say that, we make our move on Charles Leclerc and make our way up into the lead. We have a lot of battery saved up, but it is so easy to deplete it. We have to be a little bit careful here heading into the final lap. Even if we have 85% battery, we could easily go through the whole of that, but we're going to burn a little bit out onto the start of the final lap. 50% battery already after that little bit of burning, which is absolutely mental to think about. So you have to be super, super tactical with your battery deployment here. But yeah, you can recharge it super quickly as well. But we are now just burning the battery to try and escape Charles Leclerc's threat here on the last lap, because historically, and I don't know if it's the same this year, maybe it is, the AI do like to store up a lot of battery to deploy on the last lap. But the convenient thing this year is that you can save a lot of battery and deploy it on the last lap, so you can almost match what the AI are going to do. And as you can see here, we are matching Charles Leclerc through the first couple of sectors of this lap. We're 6/10 ahead, heading into the final sector of this Grand Prix here in Silverstone as Lewis Hamilton, enjoying those bright yellow gloves as always. And we are now 9/10 in front and burning the battery. We've broken the second, and now, unless a meteorite hits us, we are looking good for this race here in Silverstone. As we approach the final couple of corners here, don't mess it up now, a little bit wide of the apex, but we correct it through here. Nice and early on the power, burning the rest of the battery, and that is our fastest lap of the race as well.
I want to say a big thank you to all the fans here. Woo! Couldn't do it without you guys.
As you can hear there, we have the brand new, I believe it's brand new, I'm pretty sure that's brand new, victory calls from the drivers, like the actual radio calls from the drivers, and there's even some engineering pieces in the menus as well. that I've heard. So it's pretty cool. Some of the things they've added in. Obviously, as I've alluded to briefly, there are some, yeah, let's say, slight tweaks that can be made on the handling. I feel as if with the setup I was running, which is basically a TT setup from Silverstone, it wasn't as bad, wasn't as twitchy, but still there's a bit of work to do. But yeah, I'll leave that in the capable hands of the developers, and I'll do my bit in the driving. But as you can see here, the drivers enjoying the podium ceremony. I'm not sure too much of that has changed, because I didn't really watch it in the previous games. But as you can see there, confirmation of our victory from last on the grid with fastest lap. We love a little bit of that. And yeah, that's been the video, guys. I hope you guys very much enjoyed. I'll leave you with the highlights of the race now to see the off-board shots, because there are some pretty cool slow-mo shots that they've stuck into this game. And yeah, that's it from me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.